Hello Wine-Ebbers, my name is Jesse Meekum from You Need a Budget. Yes you do, and this is another Whiteboard Wednesday. Today I'm going to talk about a road trip. This is a little bit of the season. People are heading out on the road. Hopefully you budgeted for it, took into account gas and increased food costs because you're stopping in convenience stores and you're having a blast. So let's talk about the road trip. As it relates to budgeting, I'm thinking specifically Rule 1, maybe a little Rule 2, and a little Rule 3, all wrapped up into a road trip. You think about first exactly what you want to be doing. And you may be, not even certain on your destination, but that's Rule 1, right? You're picking those goals. And if you don't know exactly what you want your goals to be, sometimes I'm wondering, like, gosh, have I chosen the right thing? But, in my mind, I have this voice kind of saying, it's going to be all right. Just keep working on the goal. And, basically work on figuring out exactly what that is. It's not always just so cut and dry and so straightforward. But once you've pegged down Rule 1, where you've picked, essentially, your destination, consider Rule 2, where you would have waypoints along the way. So you're working with, you could, if you think about it this way, if you were to say, okay, I've got my kids in the van and we're all loaded up and just packed to the gills and we've got food, and you would think, maybe this road trip will last forever, or maybe it'll go down in flames, which could be the case for us some of the time. But if you can chunk it up, if you can take that destination off in the distance, that big goal, you can break it into those waypoints, suddenly the 10-hour trip to visit Grandma and Grandpa doesn't seem so overwhelming. Suddenly you're saying, we just got to make it 3 hours, and then we're going to get out and stretch, and everything will be just fine. So that's a key point in picking those larger goals. Look at them and break them up into those more manageable chunks. You'll get clarity around smaller items. They'll seem much more doable. Now, as you consider Rule 3, where you've got this road trip, you've got this plan, you've got your destination, you've got your waypoints, there are still going to be detours. There are going to be distractions. There will be things that just you didn't account for. You try as best you can, but you can't account for everything. So you've got, you've got these different attractions as, hey, please pull off the freeway and let's get some tourists over here. And maybe you feel like, the budget in that way, this is what happens. A lot of people will say, the budget's, it doesn't work because I planned and I set my goals and then things got in the way, and it's just like you have this, it's like kind of this joyous time with the budget when you're first setting everything up, and it's like a new relationship, and everything just seems super rosy, and then you hit your first hiccup and you're like, okay, we're done. We are never, ever getting back together. Budgeting doesn't work, and I'm finished. That's unhealthy. That's not what we want. So, now you've got bad blood in that situation because there's a lot of negative energy there, and we can't have that. So you've got to make sure you're adjusting as you go, that you're not welcoming, but accepting of the fact that there are distractions along the way, a flat tire, a repair, a kid that gets car sick or something, any number of things that'll maybe slow you down. So what you can do in that situation, and I call it just kind of a guiding principle. You're saying, okay, we've got our destination, and we don't know every single facet of this trip. We can't plan it down to the minute. We can't tell you exactly where we'll be at every second of every day. And a lot of times with finances, because it's money, people want to feel like they're being super accurate, so they kind of lay a layer of faux accuracy on top, and it's actually just, fun and games, right? It gives them this false sense of accuracy when there isn't any. So you have a guiding principle, like, we will drive at least 5 hours every day, or we are going to head east, and there will be distractions along the way, but everything will eventually work out just fine. You've got your destination, you've broken it up into manageable, smaller trips. It's not so overwhelming. You're recognizing that you'll, have distractions and get off course a little bit, but at the end of the day, you can say, hey, welcome to New York. So we'll see you guys next week. Hope that helped.